prime example of where the passion's still there, and of course, P and me are on the same frequency. You're seeing less and less of that, and you're seeing more cash grabs, and that's, I think, the saturation, the oversaturation in the space is because people who don't give a fuck are in the space.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not gonna drop any names, but I was chatting with Derek about some people who are recently in the space too, who don't even smoke, but are very heavily invested into it, and it's like, damn, what are you doing, man? Like, I want people who are really in the trenches doing this shit. Like when we were over at the high rise house, everybody smoked like a motherfucker. They're
Motherfucker.
all power through and smoking. These are the people who should be involved with this shit. But instead, you got a guy who might eat an edible once a year, maybe, and just take CBD. He's like, no, yeah, I take CBD gummies. It's
But it's a 5 milligram edible though, so he's taking a
Ye
lot. Careful.
like, yeah,
It's
that's
a five
true. That's true.
milligram edible, dude.
From a dispo.
You
And
know what I'm saying?
the problem is it's been the culture has been kind of created that way. At least when I'm coming from Canada here, where it's like in 2018 it was, and California is very similar in terms of there was a particular date in which the line was cut and to say, okay, go. At that particular moment, the weed community doesn't have a load of money. You know what I'm saying? We're not balling. We're not millionaires. We're not fucking living in crazy mansions. Shout out to the high rise guys. The thing is, is that it's like the investors came from big tobacco. They came from the automotive industry. They came from pharmaceuticals. They came from business world so far removed from cannabis. And then that's what essentially started to run the industry. And you're starting to see a point now where it's like we're starting to build up our equity almost as the cannabis community, where we can now compete with some of these corporations that have kind of taken over the game, the suits that have taken over the game. So it's you're seeing a shift, but we didn't have the easiest foot forward. You know what I mean? It's not like you could have seen High Times magazine start up MJ BizCon. No way. No way. You know what I mean? Like worst example I could have used, to be honest with you.
No, it's not, because you look at the
But
cannabis cup
I'm
and
just thinking
compare it.
grassroots. Regardless what you think about High Times, they're grassroots. They're grassroots, and
They
would not have had the capital to compete with Marlboro. There's not a chance. Not a chance.
Well, you look at now with the cannabis cups. I don't know. I'm sure California's got way more than us, but we've got one in Flint and one in Detroit back to back. Like you got to maybe choose. Some people just go to both, but it's like that's where their money has become a thing, is the events. I think they've set the standard for how to make money in this space. It's either advertisers, which now everybody's got to play safe depending on who works with who, because there's drama in the industry, or events. In the events, it's just for the new companies, it's obvious. Oh, I'm going to go and get a booth, spend money. For the companies who've been established, I don't see at the growing events, I don't see a lot of the brands that we know. They're just not there because they're like, we sell online. We've got influencers. We've got fucking internet marketing. We're not doing that. It's more like a entry level, or the ones who are just throwing the money away because they need a tax break, so to speak. It
It's
doesn't
that
seem
shift.
like
It's that shift. Like I'll mention them by name. Sponsor of ours, show to AC Infinity. Have they ever been to
I've never seen them at an
I've
event.
never seen them either, and I've never and they don't go that direction. Why don't they go that direction? They've realized something else that works. They don't have to take that corporate approach. You don't have to walk around a booth system like you do for a job like a job convention. Yeah, job fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all these
What's the
expos
difference?
and shit.
What's the difference? You're getting pens and lanyards from a job fair. You're also getting them from the cannabis industry. AC Infinity, one of the biggest names in the growing game, doesn't participate in these events. Wonder why? They figured it out. They support the community, not the money, I guess. I don't know how to phrase it in a way that.
Well, and I'd like to see, if you're going to be a brand, if you're going to be putting on an event and you have booths, I think it should be required that that booth has something decent for the consumer, either major discounted something or a free thing to give away, and not just, oh, we've got a swag bag that has our shirts, pens, and a mug. Like, no. Like, you got free pre-rolls? Do you've got a little edible? Do you've got, something
Let
that's
me get a
there for them?
sample of your actual product.
Give a sample, and a good sample, because I tell you what, there was only a couple joints that were tasty at all the ones that we got. And I'm like, why did you show up here with mids?
But that's kind of it. You know what I mean? Like that's,
But
give us
they
a little bit
paid.
what you got, let the customer decide. What you and I thought was a little bland, was a little kind of B minus. It might be somebody's right up their alley. It might be Karen, 45. She doesn't want that powerful stinky sock in her mouth. She wants something a little bit less. She wants a little lemon. You know what I mean? Or nothing at all.
There is a market for everybody. Like,
You're damn right,
look
sir.
on the shelves, there is a market. Like, my father won't smoke the same shit I smoke. He says the shit I smoke is too strong. He likes the fucking, he likes the little, he likes the shake. You know what I'm saying? He likes the lower quality. He likes the like the lower percentage. You know what I'm saying? He's not into the super
You're mild.
shit. And there is a market for that. Like, I know before we were talking about cigars, like actual like pre-rolls and shit. Like, do people actually smoke these as cigars? Yeah, I know a couple older people that actually smoke like Fanta leaves as a fucking cigar. You know, there's a market for everybody. So it's fine. Just know your demographic. And as far as these events go, like, if you already have your clients, if you already have enough people, like, you don't need to go and show your ad. Like, the reason why you would get a booth, the reason why you would go is for exposure, brand exposure in front of an audience that you probably wouldn't normally see, or an audience that isn't familiar with your product. That's why I always tell people to reach outside of the industry, because everyone consumes cannabis, dude. Everyone, every lifestyle consumes cannabis, bro. So if you go to like the vegan street fair and set up a booth, you know what I'm saying? You'll probably get more clients and you'll reach a direct consumer because they're not expecting weed, and you're probably the only weed brand there. So you will get more people coming to you at like a street fair, or if you get a booth at like a Renaissance fair or some shit where you know people consume. Like, it doesn't always have to be weed events if you're a brand trying to get your product out there. You could always look at other, like, go to other music festivals. You don't have to do like a weed. You don't have to go to weed festivals, dude. Everybody smokes weed at music concerts, dude. So, like, reach out, branch out, dude. Go outside the box.
This FTS clip was brought to you by AC Infinity, leaders in garden innovation. Use discount code TheStash15 at checkout to save some money on your order.
From the Stash Podcast.